I had agreed and actually volunteered to help him move a number of months ago when he announced to me that he was buying a house. And I've always liked helping people move. He was surprised by that because he hadn't been dropping hints, um, trying to find people to help him. I've always liked helping people move. It's an exciting thing, fresh start and all that stuff. And besides, there's often free beer, right? Anyway, he got possession of his house this past Friday, and I called him to say, what time do you want me there? And he said, well, you can come at 10 or you can come at 7. And I had to be somewhere in the afternoon, so I said, well, the earlier the better for me. I'll be there at 7. And he said, well, I gave you 2 times because if you get here at 7, you can take part in blessing the house. And I asked him about that, and he said, well, we say prayers. It is our way. We bless the house. I will be setting up, my prayer center, and you're welcome to join in. I'd be honored if you came. You don't have to take part, he said, but I would like it if you did. And I was a perfect mix of curiosity and also trying to honor my friend. He is a co-worker, but I do consider him a friend. So I set my alarm for 5 a.m. because it's a bit of a drive, and I got there in enough time to witness it, and I'd like to talk about it. Like I say, I got there by 7, loaded up, took a load over to the new place, and Morgan told me that we couldn't take anything in until that ritual had been completed, the blessing of the house. And I said, that's fine. I said, do you want me to be here? I'm not a Hindu. Do you want to be left alone? He said, please come in and join us. And he looked at me very squarely and he said, it's entirely up to you, the extent to which you get involved. Anyway, I went in. Great place. There was another Indian guy there. And they'd set up a prayer center. My friend Morgan went ahead. He prayed for some time. And he went through some, what I would call, sort of ritualized movements. And then it was up to the other Indian guy who as well prayed and went through his own movements. And the thing was, the movements were different. And I was interested in that, and I will talk to Morgan about that. But the thing is, they were completely different. And standing there watching this, I thought of Roman Catholics, who are nothing if not synchronized robots, and to the point where their emotions and the movements they do without thinking, and so therefore there's no meaning in it. It struck me that Morgan and his friend were doing movements that were quite individual, that were personal, and I've said before that I have always thought that spirituality is a very personal thing. To have these prescribed rituals and to turn us into robots, I've always had a problem with that. But at the conclusion of their prayers, I was invited, but not in any way pressurized to join in, and Morgan said, I understand this is a strange thing to you. I'm very happy that you're here. If you wish to join in, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And I said, no, I'd like to. So I stepped up, and I had a baseball cap on. I thought, is it disrespectful to? So I took it off. And I just thought in my mind, I wasn't directing it at anything, no deity, no force or anything like that, or nothing supernatural. I just thought, I hope he's happy here. I hope that this is a refuge when he wishes to be alone, and that this is his space, and I hope that when he wants friends to be there, that they will be, that there will be laughter and happiness, and then I put my cap on and we started moving. Now, at long last, I'll get to a point. At least I hope I will, and I appreciate your patience in watching this. But it really has me thinking. You see, so often, it's so flippant, or that's not the right word. It's so easy to point to, suicide bombers in the Middle East and um, Christians jumping up and down with signs saying, fags must be killed and all that stuff. And it's easy to turn our back on religion and all that and paint it all with the same brush. And I would call my friend Morgan religious. But there's nothing of the bigot in him. There's nothing of the hater. I've noticed, and it's been very obvious, office gossip he has no part of. He wants to work. He wants to do his best. He wants to be kind to people. And I'll say it again, it's been very rare that I've met someone of his caliber. And he prays. In a more hurried, more rough situation, I would look down on that. But thinking about it, I cannot. It's a personal decision to him, and who am I to judge it? I admire him, and I strive to treat others the way that he does. And if he derives his strength from his prayers, who am I to judge? Especially considering that he does not force it on anyone, and the standards that he sets, he demands only of himself. I don't know if I've come to a point or a conclusion or not. But that's my friend Morgan. I wish we could all be like him, really. This is Harry Reasoner.